Akaash from the Flagrant podcast has been going viral for all the wrong reasons. Publicly, he consistently praised his wife's purity and talked about what a great partner she is.
My wife also hadn't had any sexual partners, so that helped us connect a lot more.
But then her clip started surfacing, which told a very different story.
Sometimes I get so painfully nostalgic for college, and I had a roster of guys that I would rotate through. So it's like, ugh. You know why I think I have like a good marriage? I think it's because my husband's never here.
And as more and more clips come out, the reason that these clips keep exploding isn't just the drama, it's because they tap into a fear almost every man has. The fear of giving everything to a woman who barely respects you, which is a fear that Red Pill podcasters immediately jumped on. Okay, but what stood out to me was how his relationship and the Red Pill responses proved the same thing, that Christianity offers a far better solution to all of this, and not in the way that you're expecting. Alright, so for context, this whole thing goes back to when the Red Pill host Fresh and Fit went on the Flagrant podcast, and Akaash called them out for having a childish view of relationships, basically telling them that they had no idea what they were talking about.
You guys have established yourselves as role models, from simps to pimps, and a lot of this is just childish.
But what makes this so ironic is that in other clips, Akaash came down on Will Smith for the way Jada treated him and implied that he'd never tolerate that kind of disrespect himself.
I told my to shut up yesterday. Get on TikTok, yo. It's too much now. Cover your head.
So when he later painted his wife as pure, innocent, and respectful, people built a very specific picture of her in their minds. But then the clips started dropping and looked nothing like the woman that he described.
Oh, I actually don't cook and clean ever. Hi, my name is Jasleen. I'm a stay-at-home wife, but I don't cook or clean because I don't feel like it. And my husband is a full-time stand-up comedian, and he buys me lots of nice things. His money is our money, and my money is my money.
The clip started to show the exact fear that people try to avoid. A one-sided marriage where one person gets everything and the other person gets almost nothing back.
Okay, May the 4th is Akaash's birthday, and every year I dread it because I have to be nice the whole day, and I have to get him something, and I have to also be nice and do like acts of kindness.
Twice.
Listen, I'm just used to being treated like a princess all day, every day, so that one day that I don't.
Oh, what torture.
Yeah, it's hard.
Some of you guys might be like, Justine, what did you do to contribute everything? I'm pushing buttons behind the scenes.
And then came the part that crossed into straight up humiliation. The way that she talked about her co-host's husband, Nav.
Akaash is such a king. Like, everyone knows he's the best husband, and I don't often find men that measure up to him. And like, Nav completely measures up to him, if not more. And you haven't seen Nav yet, but wait till you see him. His body goes crazy. His face card always slays, never declines.
She also said multiple times how she wanted to sleep with Nav, and even worse, she said stuff like this on camera in front of Akaash and Nav.
I'm a hustler who scams a little bit. I'm not a scammer who
I'm not
hustles.
gonna lie, that was sexy. And that's
And at a certain point, this isn't just content anymore, it's about what it does to a man's soul. And what happened next honestly made the whole situation even harder to watch. But before I show you that, we need to thank today's sponsor, Ground News, because what's happening here is exactly why tools like this matter. The truth is, the internet has no clue how to handle nuance anymore. One clip sentence, one soundbite, one out of context moment, and suddenly the whole world thinks that they know the entire story. And Ground News is literally built to fix that problem. It gathers every version of the story, left, right, and center, all in one place. It shows you who's covering it, what they're talking about, and even who owns the outlet behind it. So basically, it helps you see the story behind the story. For example, when we looked at the story about how AOC told her supporters to laugh at Stephen Miller's insecure masculinity, so far 53% of the coverage is coming from the left, and only 27% is coming from the right. But what I found interesting is how they're covering it. The left emphasizes how she touched a nerve, while the right emphasizes her mocking MAGA men in a personal attack. And this shows how two people can read about the exact same event and walk away believing completely different realities. And that's why I use Ground News all of the time when I'm researching for my videos, because it keeps me honest, it keeps me seeing what's being left out, and it's been recognized by the Nobel Peace Center as an excellent way to stay informed while avoiding echo chambers. So if you want that same clarity when you read the news, you can use my link groundnews.com/whatdoyoumeme or scan the QR code on the screen and get 40% off of the Vantage plan, which is the same one that I use. All right, now let's get back to how this is impacting Akaash and why the red pill solution just doesn't work. So while all of this has been going on, people from Akaash's comedy shows have been saying that he hasn't been taking it well.
I went to the show last night and it was extremely awkward. He was clearly not processing this situation well, and he ended the set 20 minutes early.
All of this has exposed one of the deepest fears that men have in marriage, giving your life to someone who doesn't give you basic respect in return. And of course, the Red Pill guys, especially Myron from Fresh and Fit, jumped on this instantly.
This is what happens when you don't have Red Pill awareness, bro. Hey, if you had taken my tips, you wouldn't have married this thought.
And according to their worldview, the way that you avoid ending up in Akaash's situation is simple. You get leverage. You become the one who cares less in the relationship. The way they say that men get that leverage is by becoming what they call a high-value man. High income, high status, and social proof. And in return, you're supposed to be able to acquire a woman with high value also, which in their system means she's young, pretty, and a virgin.
Typically, as women age, they lose their value.
A woman's main agency is her sexuality. These provide very little value outside of sexuality.
Really, like anything above the age of 22, no matter what the body count, no matter how non-promiscuous she is, it's over. She's essentially useless in my opinion.
Okay, now even though most of us would hear this and think that this is insane, we still have to understand why the Red Pill caught on in the first place. The reality is, a lot of men are terrified of ending up in the same position as Akaash, and the Red Pill offers control in places where men feel the most vulnerable and afraid. But here's the first problem with the Red Pill solution. It doesn't work. Akaash is a high earner, has high status, and has high social proof, which, according to them, gives him maximal leverage. And his wife is about 10 years younger, she's pretty, and said she was a virgin when they got married. So, by their own definitions, this is the exact pairing that they say will get a man maximal respect. And yet, it didn't seem to work here. And this is why the Red Pill has a backup rule for when being high value doesn't fix disrespect.
Never stay with a girl that openly disrespects you. The only power you have as a man in 2022, guys, is walking away from girls that are disrespectful.
Myron even claims his own relationship works this way because his girl is completely silent and compliant.
My girl's you're all you girls. No, she shuts the hell up.
My girl don't talk back to me. There's no arguments. This is how it is.
Okay, but here's the issue. This isn't advice for building a relationship. It's advice for destroying or avoiding one altogether. There's a reason why so many of these Red Pill influencers can't maintain the very relationships that they teach men to pursue. Myron himself admitted that he's only had one girlfriend, and she said that they never had a physical or intimate relationship and are no longer together. And him and his co-hosts were both caught separately on sugar daddy websites paying for female attention. The reason why is because their advice doesn't work. I mean, sure, you can say that their advice will keep you from ending up with a wife like the internet thinks that Akaash has, but that's only because their advice keeps you from having a serious relationship in the first place. Real relationships require disagreement, learning what makes your partner feel disrespected, making adjustments, apologizing, and growing. You can't performance max your way into guaranteed respect, you can't shame-proof your marriage, and you can't fear-manage a relationship into security. And that's not to say that everything they say is wrong, because it's not. Sometimes they do point out real issues with the dating dynamics today. But if their solution collapses the moment that a real woman enters the picture, then it's clear that they've been selling people on nothing more than a fantasy. Alright, so here's the thing. The Red Pill tells women that their value comes from their youth and their looks, which will both inevitably fade away. And Christianity says something completely different, that their beauty should not come from their outer appearance, but from their inner self, the unfading beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is a far better foundation than a worldview that believes that women's value expires after 22. Marrying for looks and youth just means that you're going to be left with whatever their soul looks like underneath. And it doesn't just speak to women, it speaks to men too, because instead of trying to become a high-value man so that you can acquire a high-value woman, Scripture calls you to look for someone who shares biblical values, which will actually get you what you really want, instead of a relationship based on ego, leverage, and fear. In Christianity, wives are called to respect their husbands, and husbands are called to love their wives sacrificially. So it addresses the exact issue that Red Pill claims to fix, but in a way where both people willingly choose. Not because it's easy, but because they see marriage as a reflection of the gospel message rather than a power struggle. So when conflict hits, you don't have to dominate or withdraw. Instead, you can speak truth in love. You don't repay evil for evil, and you work through the moments where you feel hurt or disrespected instead of panicking and blowing up the relationship. Because in the real world, even healthy marriages have moments of disrespect. The question isn't whether you'll face it, it's whether your sense of identity can survive it. And the gospel gives a man an identity that absolutely can, because Jesus absorbed the deepest disrespect imaginable without losing himself. So you don't have to react like the disrespect destroys you. Dignity doesn't have to rise or fall based on whether or not someone validates you. For Christians, we can react differently because Christ already took the hardest blow for us. Our identity can be grounded in the one who died for you, not in a woman's reaction to you. And when a man truly believes and internalizes that message, overall, he becomes the kind of man that no fear-based ideology can manufacture. Someone who's increasingly growing more and more steady, secure, loving, and genuinely strong. Thank you all so much for watching until the end. And if you want to see more reasons why I think that this red pill mindset is so damaging for people, go ahead and click on one of these videos that's on the screen right now. And lastly, if you want to support our mission here to bring clarity and gospel hope to the world, click the link down below in the description, and I'll see you next time.